we're back here at the World Cyber Games 2008 in beautiful Cologne, Germany. The World Cyber Games, of course, brought to you by Samsung. Thank you again to our sponsors. All right. We had a very interesting match back there. Would you care to recap it for us?
Yeah, it was a human versus orc on Turtle Rock, with XlorD being the human and Lucifer being the orc. And they started next to each other on the two top positions. And basically XlorD went aggressive early on, forced Lucifer to cancel his first or his second burrow. And after that, you know, he just kept being aggressive. He tower rushed him on tier 2 and won the game on that.
Well, here is XlorD now. He is normally an undead player, although we did see him play humans last time. Now he will be playing his main race undead now, since he is against a Night Elf. His opponent, known as D-Link.PGS.MeS. It looks like a bunch of clan tags attached together. Which one's his actual name?
His nickname is MeS, MES.
All right. Sorry, Warcraft 3 fans at home.
Yeah, no, this is
go easy on me, guys.
This is not a really globally known player, so I mean, this is the first time I see him at an event myself. So
all right, I wasn't sure if I was making a fool out of myself. I'm normally a StarCraft commentator, but I'm here to help out. For now, he is a Night Elf player from Poland, and he won first place in Poland, by the way. Poland, a very strong esports country in general.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like I said, this is not an internationally known player, but I know Poland has a strong national competitive scene. So him being the top player from Poland at this event means, you know, he's got some skills. Maybe, I don't know if it's enough to beat XlorD, who is of course a very unknown international player, but still, you know, it's still going to be a good, high-quality match.
Well, here's our map, Twisted Meadows. Now, what do we need to know about this map in a Night Elf versus Undead?
Well, you have 4 starting positions, and generally, Night Elves they will try to win, to get an expand early on or so, to try and win on that. It's what I would call a rich map. You can get good items early on. You can mercenaries. You have a tavern. You basically have everything you can have in a map, and yeah, we have to wrap this up. We will talk about the map some later on.
We're going to go to a graphic real fast here, but get ready. More Warcraft 3 action coming up on your way very soon here. Whenever our German commentators are ready to wrap it up, we'll do that. We're back once again. Tasteless and Dirk are here to try our best to deliver you the most excellent Warcraft 3 coverage you have ever seen. Well, we're going to try at least, and we got both of our players in the game. They're getting ready, MES and XlorD. And at any moment now, our referees will confirm that it is time to start this game. So grab a beer, grab some popcorn, whatever it is you do when you're watching Warcraft 3. Because this is going to be quite entertaining. XlorD, look at that badass killer in the booth, just reflecting on how much he owns right now. He is going to be seriously a tough opponent against MES. Now, MES knows how strong XlorD is. He knows what he's up against. So, you know, we'll see what he has prepared.
Yeah, I think that's actually an advantage for MES. Because MES, you know, he knows XlorD, he can study his games, etc. But, you know, XlorD, there's not a lot out there on MES. So he has that advantage at least.
Well, our game is loading, and it has begun. It's going to be XlorD against MES. Here we go. So what do we need to know about this map with these specific starting locations? We see that they're both hugging the left side.
Well, I think, you know, in the Night Elf versus Undead, there's not... It doesn't really have a huge impact, other than that MES is probably going to AOW creep early on.
Whoa. Paused.
And XlorD has no sound, and he has paused.
He has no sound. Now, many times it's illegal to pause in tournament games.
Yeah, in Korean tournaments at least. I don't know about WCG.
Yeah, I don't know about, you know, I live in Korea, so I'm kind of used to the Korean rules, but clearly it's difficult to play Warcraft 3 without sound. You need the constant alerts. You know, it tells you when your upgrades are done, all that stuff. So,
yeah, actually, I have a story about that. Was Moon, a famous Korean WarCraft 3 player? He was so used to playing international tournaments that when he played the Korean Pro League for the first time in a long time, he paused the game in the middle of it and it's like not on, and he's like sorry. So it's yeah, this is very much an international game, and
yeah, big international scene here. Well, we do have a lot of fans that showed up today, as you can see in this camera shot now, to see XlorD and all of his carnage that he's ready to unleash on all these WarCraft 3 players. XlorD probably expected to get out of his group. He's a very significant player here on the scene. And now we're not just saying that because we're in Germany and he's German. We're saying that because it's just fact. And XlorD says, you know, right now, look, I need the sound. Yeah, you know, I'm going to have to pause. Normally this never happens, so they're going to be tampering with the sound equipment, but totally understandable. I don't blame the guy at all.
XlorD's actually in a very tough group. He has Rotterdam, Wu, and Lucifon in it, which are, you know, all three, you know, great players. So actually he also lost to ACH, which is a very unknown player to me at least. And I think they're starting. Yeah, they started again.
All right, they're going to start it back up. XlorD has to do well in this difficult group, and hopefully he can. Although somebody did hand me a card saying that they're going to regame. It looks like they're not. They're going to go ahead and go back to their original plane. XlorD against MES.
Yeah,
Germany against Poland.
I think XlorD is probably going to try to scout the locations. You see, yeah, I can't point that. You see 4 orange creep camps on the map close to the water, and he knows that MES is probably going to build his AOW in a way that allows him to creep one and let the AOW take the damage. So he's going to scout for that, and he's going to harass start with his Death Knight and maybe some ghouls. So that's basically the early game. MES is going to try to creep and XlorD going to try to harass, and maybe, you know, XlorD decides, you know, I'm going to try to press my advantage and go for rush with my ghouls, you know, but that's not the only option. They can just both attack, and it's really, I think Night Elf is really a game that allows for a lot of, you know, different ways of developing. So yeah, this is still the early game. You see XlorD now scouting, and he basically scouted in the wrong direction. So at this point he does not. It's going to be a while before he finds out where MES is. The same goes for MES, by the way, but because MES knows he's going to creep, it's less important for him to know right now what the location of XlorD is. So yeah, this is slightly advantage of MES, the way the scouting is going. I see MES is, you know, he's now luring the creeps to his AOW, so the AOW can take the damage of the creeps, and he's asked you to do some damage a little bit more than he should have. But you know, you see that MES is now creeping the creeps, and XlorD's now running in with his Death Knight, hoping to, you know, maybe kill some of the creeps, but stealing them with his coil, which does a lot of damage, is an instant kill, or maybe try to kill the Archer, which took some damage already. But you see, XlorD tried to call one of the creeps, which is an instant damage spell, but the creep died before the call arrived. So he did not kill the creep, which would have given him gold and experience. And he also lost the mana for the call, so it's really bad for XlorD. So far it's going good for MES, you know, but still it's a very early stage, so that doesn't mean a lot. I see XlorD is now going, I think, to creep his natural expansion. I don't know if he's going to add and expand as well, but, you know, at least it will give him the option of expanding when he wants, assuming he's not tagging, because when he's tagging he cannot build Acolyte, which he needs to expand. So yeah, it's interesting to see what XlorD will be doing. MES will likely continue creeping for some period of time. You see also MES. Yeah, you see MES is scouting what XlorD is doing. You might have noticed, I don't know, because we haven't seen XlorD base, but XlorD has no tag, which would be a requirement if he's going for the expand. But really, MES is keeping tabs on XlorD, and XlorD is keeping tabs on MES. So really, both players they're trying to, you know, figure out what the other player doing, you know, keeping their own options open and, you know, creeping them up. So it's really, yeah, it's really just they're both trying to anticipate and built their own army in the meantime. So that's the game at the moment.
Looks like he did grab boots of speed and a circlet of nobility. Are these the ideal items in a situation?
Actually, I think he found the circle of nobility.
He grabbed that up the ground.
So that's really good for him. You see now at the bottom of the map that MES is building an expander zone. Oh, that was really nice. XlorD threw a call at the Wisp, and the Wisp has 120 HP and a call does 100 damage. So the Wisp had 20 HPs left, and then it detonated, which is really it's really bad. Actually, it's, you see XlorD lost a ghoul there versus the creeps, and he was forced to run back. Probably because he realized, MES has seen what I'm doing, so he probably is going to jack me or some kind of train of force like that. But really, this is going pretty bad for XlorD. I think he's lost. He's losing more than he should have, and MES has put the company expand, and it's it's not decisive yet, but really it is kind of going MES's way. I think. Also now, I think he was kind of hoping to maybe catch MES in the act of creeping, and also that didn't happen. So yeah, MES is really.
This is looking pretty interesting here so far. I mean, man, I gotta say, Zercher, you know your stuff in this game. It blows my mind. Very impressive. Okay, so right now, what can XlorD possibly do to recover? Yeah,
it's. I mean, he's slightly behind. Yeah, he's slightly behind in what would be normally the course of situation in a game like this. What he can do to recover is, he's probably just going to wait for tier 2 and add some gargoyles, which are flying units, and they can really use them to harass effectively. What I think is really going to be the point at which we can say, one player has the advantage over the other. Is MES going to be able to put the expansion? Is he going to be able to get it running? Because if he can get the expansion running, he's going to have a decisive economic advantage. And at that point, it's really going to be. He really has a significant advantage as opposed to just a slight advantage. That's really going to be the decisive thing to decide. I'd say decide which of the two is going to have the advantage. And, XlorD, he's now going to try to harass with the gargoyles, like I said before. He's probably going to try to delay the building of the Angels of War, which is a unit, a higher tech building, which allows him to produce higher, stronger units than MES has done so far. So that's basically the game. So up until this point, and you can see MES is Tree of Life, which is the expansion which we've been talking about, which allows him to get extra gold. It's now heading towards the mine, of which is going to subtract gold, and we're seeing both. The dynamic right now is that XlorD is going to try to harass, and MES is going to try to expand, and it's just going to be wait and see for what's just going to happen. And he's now scouting the expansion, so he's going to notice that MES is trying to pull up the expansion. So that's going to be like it's pretty good for XlorD, so he knows I have to take care of that. I have to prevent him from expanding. But MES is now going to spend time expanding, which allows XlorD, I know he can now harass the base of MES safely because he's going to be occupied with the expansion. So really this is. I think XlorD is the kind of player that likes this because it really allows him to put the pressure on MES. It's not that bad for MES, but just personally, as a matter of personal preference, it's something XlorD likes because he can just really put the pressure on another player. But you can see MES, he's divided his armies into to deal with both the harass and the expansion. It's really good for him. I see now. You see this hovering unit, which for some reason always reminds me of Lord of the Rings. It's a shade. It's an invisible unit, so he can keep it close to the hero of MES indefinitely. It allows him to scout, to keep tabs on where the army of MES is at any point. And really, it's like I mentioned before, XlorD is the kind of player that likes to pressure his opponent, and this allows him to keep tabs on the army and try to catch it at a weak moment. But really, you see now MES. He has successfully put up the expand, and he has also successfully fended off the harass. And it's not fatal for XlorD, but if you would have to ask me, it's definitely advantage MES at this point. And that's you see, XlorD is doing some harassment, but he's not really doing any kind of really effective damage. XlorD is putting up a boneyard, so we've been talking all this time about how MES is, you know, successfully fending off XlorD, but XlorD has also decided to make like a big investment into late game by building a boneyard, which provides him with Frostworm, and Frostworm is like the strongest unit in the game. Yeah, actually, I think this is like the single strongest unit in the game. It costs 7 food, and it's a big dragon, skeleton of a dragon, which is live in that unit, and it can cast a freezing breath, which slows down units or can slow down buildings, and it's really a strong unit. It's very effective against units with the claw, and also against heroes. And I think it's one of the most effective units against single heroes. So it's really yeah, it's a very nice unit to have.
So what exactly does a Night Elf player need to do to prepare for this?
Well, it kind of puts him in a bind in the sense that he can't. Normally you would make like bears, dudes of the claw, but really against Frostworm this early on, he's just going to get his ass kicked with them. So he needs to keep making on drives. He keeps on making that ground army, but you know he's kind of succeeding the air game to his opponent. And look, this is where an interesting aspect of Twisted Meadows comes into play. You see there are 4 islands on the map, and it's really, you need to have a strong air army to take them. And you know, if XlorD is going to put an expansion up on them, it's really good for him now because he has a superior air force. So that's really why XlorD still feels comfortable in this game, because you know because MES can beat the air units in a direct fight, but he can't beat them when they're on the island. So really XlorD he's decided to take this game into a long term, to try and, you know, put them an expansion on the island and just wait so they both can build like strong armies and just so if this was any on the map, the advantage would definitely be MES right now. But XlorD, he knows he can wait till late game when the odds are more in his favor, because you know late tech is just good for undead, and you know, if they both have 100 foot armies, which is like the max amount of food, it's good for undead, because if you look at it per foot, it's just undead has the superior army generally. So far it's good for MES, but MES is probably aware, because of experience, what XlorD is doing. So he's probably either going to try to stop the expand, which is XlorD's kind of game. He's going to try to build a lot of hippogriffs, which are a good air unit to try and get the ground game, and maybe also he's going to try to put up a lot of expand, which, you know, also bring the advantage to him, I think.
So this has just turned out to be a really wild game here so far, and it looks like we're going to see a little bit of turtling into the late phase of the game, in which XlorD is hoping that can be his time to possibly pull through here with a victory. Now, is there anything that Night Elf can really do right now to focus on this expansion that the Undead is taking him here at the top left?
Well, he can just, you know, he can go on the offensive, he can hire a Zeppelin and transport his army over there. But you know, XlorD, you know, he might anticipate that, so it's not really, you know, it's a decision he might make, but he might also not make that for that reason, because you know, if XlorD can catch that Zeppelin, it really means he will win this game. And you can see right now the dynamic is, you know, they both know what they're doing. I mean, XlorD knows, MES knows XlorD has an expansion because of the strong item that XlorD is carrying, which gives away that he grabbed the expansion. Yeah. And also, XlorD, you know, XlorD knows that MES is probably going to try to put up an expansion to keep having that economic advantage. So he's going to try to keep scouting any location in which MES might expand. But you see that the panda has an item, a staff of teleportation, which allows his panda to teleport to any location which MES has units or buildings. So that allows him to fend off the harassment using the panda, which is pretty effective for that purpose. I see, you know, XlorD still doesn't really have that expansion running properly. So at this point, the advantage is still MES, but you know, the thing XlorD is trying to do, he's not trying to win the game right now, he's trying to win the game 10 or 15 minutes from now. So unless MES does anything to press that advantage into, you know, real damage to XlorD. It still is, you know, it still is an equal game in the sense that 10 or 15 minutes from now, it's going to, you know, be a game that's pretty close, even though MES has an army and economic advantage right now. I see the shade of XlorD, you know, it allows him really to see what MES is doing, anticipate on his actions. XlorD knows MES is putting up another expansion. XlorD knows MES is building an air army, and really he can really anticipate that in terms of, you know, his own actions, of his creep locations, of his decision to go on the offensive, of his decision to add another expansion. So really, I think, you know, I keep saying MES has an advantage, but really I think XlorD is somewhat in control of the dynamics of the game. That really is, yeah, that's really not bad for him. And MES is I mean, MES at this point, MES is the player that has to go on the offensive somehow, stop an expansion of XlorD, or at least scout so he knows what XlorD is doing. Because really, XlorD is moving his chess piece, he's positioning the things he's doing in a way that's really good for him. So yeah, you see now MES, you know, MES really can't, he really can, but I don't know if he should go on the offensive on the base, which has like a lot of natural defense. Yeah, it's XlorD is going, yeah, they're going.
He's gonna go back home.
Yeah, he's going back home to try and fend off MES, but it's not really necessary because MES, you know, MES knows he can't fight the unnet base because the unnet just has too much natural defense. Okay, this is interesting. MES.
Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get that stuff over there in time, as it is clear that XlorD is not interested in letting him fill up that Zeppelin and get away with that. So do you think he should try going to the top right then?
Yeah, I think MES should scout. I mean, if he would have scouted, he would have known that XlorD is putting up 2 more expands, and he can stop them pretty okay. But really, MES is, yeah, MES is really not. He's losing his battle to XlorD, and it's really not good for him. It's because XlorD, like I said, the longer the game lasts, the better for XlorD it is. And really he should somehow take the offensive, but XlorD is not allowing him. I mean, MES can't take up the battle in his base, and he can't cross over to the island. So really MES, even though he's winning the direct battle, he can't do anything to force a direct battle. And really, without that direct battle, it's really going good for MES, who's now, you know, he's deciding, you know, fuck, I can't force a battle, but I can't really do anything else that's effective for me. You see MES losing some units, and I think at this point it's safe to say that it's probably an advantage XlorD at this point. You know, not a decisive advantage, but an advantage to some extent.
Yeah, an advantage nonetheless, and you know, he's got to be taking that into consideration right now. Now, is there really too much more that the Night Elf can do as the game progresses forward, or is he just going to be that much more unstoppable?
Well, the Night Elf, you know, what he cannot do under any circumstances really is that XlorD dictate the terms of the game. So you know, if XlorD is keep pressuring him, XlorD is losing a bunch of gargoyles here, so that's not good. I think he lost like 3, maybe 4, but I think 3. So that's it's really bad for him. But it's not fatal. It costs like. It was like 540 gold for him, so that's not good, but it's not really fatal either. But no, it's really, he cannot allow XlorD to keep on creeping, keep on harassing, just keep on deciding the terms of the game, because really this late game it's going to be an advantage of XlorD, who at this point has 3 expands, and MES just has 2, so it's so what MES has to do is has to take up the offensive, and he has to take down the expands. He has to force a real battle in which he's able to take down some of the units of XlorD. But the XlorD, you know, he's going to try to not let them. XlorD wants to be in control of the game, and it's really he's good at it. It's the kind of game he wants to play. So that's. But you know, MES is not without options, but he just. XlorD is at this point he's trying not to let MES be able to carry out any of those options. What you see happening is, you know, XlorD he goes into the base of MES, and MES comes in and he has to fend it off. But XlorD, you know, from a distance, XlorD kills some of the units of MES, and then he goes away again. And those units, you know, that's an advantage for XlorD, because you know those units yeah, that he kills some units and XlorD kills none. So all in all, that's an advantage for XlorD, who has some other advantages as well as the game progresses. So really, this game is going well for XlorD, and for some time now, you know, MES has been unable to get any kind of real advantage. And you have to say, if you look at the amount of gold MES has, he has some serious amount of gold, and I think he's staying below 80 food on purpose, which is a WarCraft 3 thing. It's when you get at certain levels of food, which represent the units you have, you pay taxes.
Yeah, yeah.
And paying taxes means, you know, that's not good. So you want to stay at a certain level of food to avoid paying taxes. And MES has really been avoiding paying taxes, so he has like a big supply of gold, so he can. So that's good
so
for him.
He can keep more income, and he doesn't, you know, he doesn't become a socialist country. You know, he's paying so many.
Yeah, like
so
America
much
now with Obama and everything.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so yeah, he's definitely taking the right economic approach here. Both players being pretty calculated here in exactly how they're going to play this out. Is he constantly trying to force his opponent to town portal back there?
Yeah, no, that's basically the game. XlorD. No, XlorD is not looking for a direct battle. XlorD is looking to pick up tiny advantages, kill some units, force a town portal, force him to cancel and defend expand. And it's really because, you know, you see they're both like building up this really huge supply of cash. You know, it's you know, because really they're both preparing for a long-term game, and it's really heading towards that. You know, they're going to be able to, if they lose their army, they're going to be able to replenish it swiftly. So really, this is looking to become, yeah, quite a long-term. I mean, of course, if one of them wins a battle decisively, it's pretty much over. But you know, they have the money to keep on going for a long time. So that's really.
What are your thoughts on this battle right here?
I think this is a battle that's just, honestly, I can't really say. I think it's.
It looks like it's pretty intense, but there's a lot of action going on here.
I think it might be good for MES. Yeah, you see.
The classroom got taken down.
I think XlorD lost like 20 foods of units. He lost the first round, and he was forced to TP out. So you know, it's. Yeah, I thought it was pretty hard to say at first, but it was a good battle for MES. I think also why he pressed to go into the battle, and also that allows him to clear some units. But other than that, it doesn't really change the dynamics of the game. It's a small success, but still, it's he has to follow up and maybe go on the offensive, take down an expansion or so. I don't think he's really aware of the fact that fully that XlorD has three expands and is really building up that long-term kind of advantage. But you know, I think I saw a Chimera somewhere earlier, which is also a heavy kind of air unit for MES, which is very good versus ground units. So I think the game is right now what MES is going to try to do. It's trying to challenge XlorD for the air game by building hippogriffs, and if you can successfully claim as an advantage in the air battles, you can use the Chimera to get like strong ground advantage. So that's really what MES might be trying to do. But really, XlorD, you know, XlorD, I think XlorD still has an advantage, and you know, he's still leveling up his third hero, which is Dreadlord, which is it's not a common hero to see. It's just because because you know, the Death Knight and the Leech, they're pretty much stronger heroes in terms of having instant damage abilities. But it's a good hero to supplement the first two. So in a long-term game like this, it's not unusual to see. It's just unusual to see a game go into long-term like this.
Looks like we may have a battle here over an expansion. As these acolytes are getting stabbed in the back here by this giant tree of life. Bam! And it looks like this could be really bad news here for XlorD. He probably wants to get this expansion up here.
Yeah, it cost him like, I don't know, 500 gold or so in terms of the investment he made in this expansion. So that's good for him. That represents a false worm. But yeah, you see the game right now is about getting these small advantages. Yeah, small actually. About getting these advantages, like putting an expansion up, like, you know, like destroying another expansion, like you see right now. Oh, you also see that MES has decided to go into high taxes. So he's, you know, he basically what he said at this point is, you know, I want to go, want to build an army, and I'm going to look. He's going to look for the offensive after that, because, you know, obviously if you go into higher taxes, you do that for a reason. You do that because you want to use that army for something. So we might be seeing major offensive of MES shortly. Also XlorD, you know, he realizes from that major offensive is coming, so he's also breaking his tax limit. So both are now building up a huge army, and that's the situation as it is right now.
Well, it looks like XlorD is now going to go for that Tree of Life and back off once again as he tries to manipulate his opponent's position on the map. But can he really do anything about that expansion?
Not if MES, like he's right now, keeps his army in the neighborhood of the expansion, because the entire game we've seen the same thing. XlorD under no circumstances wants a direct battle. He's going to, at some point he's going to go into battle, but only after he's gotten enough of those little advantages which allow him to know that the big battle is going to go his way. The only, or if MES somehow forces him to, you know, defend his base or something, which are basically only two circumstances which will see XlorD enter that decisive battle.
Well, this has been a pretty upgrade-intensive game. Looks like everybody is almost complete with their upgrades. Well, almost there, I should say. But this has just really turned out to be a really thrilling game here. One of the longest WarCraft 3 games I've seen in a while. And once again, the Tree of Eternity now under heavy fire here. What can he do to possibly save this?
He just has to bring his army over there to, you know, this is, you saw XlorD was attacking the bottom expansion, and MES was forced to defend that with his army, but, you know, that left his Tree of Eternity open, and, you know, we see the result of that. And I think this is in the disadvantage of MES, who's losing the air battle, which he needs to win.
Oh man!
Yeah, and he's losing some serious units, and really this is looking pretty good for XlorD right now. He's doing some major damage.
Yeah, he's chasing his army back there. They're moving farther back. Chimera gets blown up, or implodes, or whatever it is Chimera's doing. They die, and now he's going to be able to move back up here to the Tree of Eternity and probably finish it off.
Yeah, it's very bad if you lose the Tree, which is likely at this point. It's PES lost some considerable units. He lost his Tree of Eternity. You know, he still has a big money reserve left, so he can rebuild and live to fight another day. But it's not good for him, and at this point, you know, I think XlorD has expanded his advantage a little bit.
Okay, well, we do see that the gold mine still has a reasonable amount of gold inside. So, you know, bear in mind that these guys both have a lot of money. Even after the big battle happens, there's still going to be a lot more money to spend. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, this is not only is his long game in the sense that it's been going on for a long time, but also it's a game in which players, they keep anticipating, you know, how's the game going to look 10 minutes from now. So, you know, that's why they have like these big money reserves, and that's why, you know, this game is looking to, you know, maybe go on for a bit longer period of time, because, you know, when you have a lot of money left, you know, you can rebuild your army, and, you know, that means, you know, you can live to fight another day, which is basically, yeah. So we see XlorD is really using, he's doing simultaneous attacks on, you know, on pressure points of buildings of MES, so that which allows him, you know, to get some slight advantages by, you know, killing some units, killing some buildings. And really this game is looking good for XlorD, who at this point is, you know, he's killing expands, he's killing units, and we see a big fight.
That's huge. Okay, it seems as though slowly he's picking his opponent apart. Here comes the support scrolls in here. I can't see quite what the hell's going on, but it looks like it's pretty serious. Looking good for XlorD as far as I can tell.
Yeah, no, it's looking very good for XlorD. He's losing very few units, and MES is losing a lot. And I think at this point we can say it's a decisive advantage for XlorD.
Man, the Brewmaster has been picked up. XlorD, you murderer. This is bad news here, and there it is. Good game.
Yeah.
Wow, well played by MES. Excuse me. Well, he did play well, but XlorD won anyways.
You know, it was a really long and intense game, and you know, I think both players can be very proud that, you know, they they're really capable, and no, but XlorD, he really played smart. He kept it cool, and he kept waiting for the long-term advantage, and he took it, and that's won in the game. It lasted almost 30 minutes, which is a long time for WarCraft 3 match, and he has 2 losses so far, I think, in his group. He lost versus Lucifon, and he lost versus ACA, but he's now still looking good to fight for second place anyway, because I think Lucifon is going to win the group. He's no wait, he lost versus ACA and he beat Lucifon earlier, yeah. So, but he still has some tough games left, so it's a very interesting group, and we don't really have time to talk about it. But I think we might see XlorD progress in the tournament, and he might do well further. So it's yeah.
Well, stay tuned. We're gonna have player versus it cut off right before 7. Don't go anywhere. We got more games coming up here in just a little bit. Thanks. Take care, guys. Bye bye.